Today, I'm going to let you tune in on a little chat hour. This is, of course, a podcast style. Considering the pandemic, I'm doing things a little differently. I'm going to go back to videos, but right now, I want y'all to listen. So, at any rate, we're talking about how people are dying, and some doctors have come forward saying that they're kind of being encouraged to label certain deaths as COVID, especially ones, that just kind of even appear to be possible. Knowing the hospital, you could have pneumonia, they're going to say it's COVID, So, we're talking about that stuff. And listen, I want you guys to know, when you listen to what I'm saying, this is not to agitate anyone. This is not to be dismissive of anything. And this is not to basically poke fun at anyone. This is strictly for y'all to really think about some things. Okay? This is a thought-provoking forum. If it's fact, I'm going to let you know fact. In fact, I think can be relative too. But if it was from the CDC or something like that, I would let you know. I would state that. But as far as the doctors, that is true. That what I did say is true. They were definitely saying that. But at any rate, so I'm just out here having a conversation, and y'all will listen to it. So what I was saying was, I think, since we were kids, and I noticed how Mom, Graham, and different ones, because they're from the era, they watch the news. You know what I'm saying? Even Daddy will call us and be like, you see, you need to watch the news so you know what's going on. And I noticed the news gets them so revved up. It's like putting a battery in their back. You know what I mean? And I tell them all the time, it's not to be dismissive of the content coming over the news, because yes, it does have some relevancy, but you got to know that if there is a lot of propaganda, there's a lot of things to get attention, to gain ratings, all of that kind of stuff. And we take everything as fact. And I believe, I can't speak for white people. I think sometimes, I can't speak for Caucasians or Asians or Philippines or Indians. I can't speak for nobody but what I am, black. So I think a lot of times we like to over assume about other races. Just like they can't really they can't be taken as fact what they think about us, because they're not us. They don't live like us. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same. It goes the same both ways. But we are a very, I won't say paranoid, but we watch people and we're very leery of everything. So by us already being leery of nature and questioning things, because there was the Tuskegee experiment, and there was racism. We can't discount being captive over here. And listen, a lot of people like to bring up the argument that it was our own people that gave us into slavery. Okay, now, even with that, so you give me something, you give me a gift, you give me something to help me out, right? Yeah. This is how we explaining it. It makes it simpler. So I'm not discounting humanity in this. I'm just using this as an example. So you give me something that's going to help me. It's like a tool to make things better. Does that mean that you want me to abuse and misuse the tool? Or you just giving it to me to assist me?
Giving it to you to assist.
Right. So if our own people gave us away, wasn't it the choice of the people to receive us of how they wanted to treat us? So wouldn't saying but your own people gave you away, isn't that something or somewhat what we would call deflection? Because And I'm not taking any responsibility away from our people, but what I'm saying is, if you can never take responsibility for yourself and you're always bringing up someone else, you're not fully taking responsibility.
Right.
Because you're trying to point eyes, but look, at this was okay because that person did that. No, your actions, theirs might not have been okay, but we're not talking about them. Your actions was solely unacceptable.
Right.
And it wasn't forced upon you to treat people this way. So you take the slaves in, but you treat them good. You treat them like humans, or more so like what we are today. We still slaves. No one's cracking a whip at us per se. Not physically, maybe spiritually, metaphorically. But physically, no one's cracking a whip on us now. Every once in a while, you have acts of racism and stuff like that, but I'm not including that. I'm talking about on the job. You've got to punch in to a job. I don't care what they paying you. There is no amount of money that could ever equate to your time, if we really want to be honest. You're a human. The way you are built, the way you function, the way you tick, your purpose, your reasoning, your value is unmeasurable because of that. You're such a vast being with so much potential. Now, the fact that everybody doesn't utilize that potential, that's something totally different. But your potential as a human is mind-blowing. It's astronomical. It's something that cannot be measured. So you can't put a dollar amount to that. So, but regardless, on the basic level, we still don't even get paid. Our wages are insulting, period, on the basic level. Now, wages wouldn't matter so much if the price of living wasn't so astronomical. The price of living is astronomical. So whatever it is, if you want to charge people $20 million a month, maybe you need to be giving them $10 million an hour. You see what I'm saying? But that's crazy, but it's just to give it for example. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much that's it. So we're forced to get up every day, punch a clock. Not only are we supposed to punch a clock, we got to watch everything, because you always got that telling ass co-worker. You always got that somebody that's trying to kiss their ass to the top. Kiss somebody's ass, I'm sorry, to the top. So you got to look out for that person. You know, you under the gun there. You got to tiptoe around and shit. Even at the most lenient jobs, at the back of your mind, you still thinking about how you got to watch your back. And you got to make it into this place every day on time to secure your job. And then you know that you are still looked at differently. 5 people could be doing the same thing and they're all different races, but you'll be the one that they'll point out and really have an issue with. Right? But a lot of this is, to some people it's more reality and to others it's more psychological. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what capacity you work in. But the point is, on the very simple level, without all the mental fucking around and all of that stuff, when you go into work, nobody's there to sit there and hit you upside your head, whip you, lynch you, anything. They pay you a wage. But you know, if you don't go in, you can't pay your bills. And your bills are so astronomical that they will pile up so quickly and become so much. It would just be, it will take a person out. You know. So, I mean, knowing all of that, I went really deep off into my explanations. Knowing all of that, that's just, we nightmare to death in the simplest form. So you get on here and you talking, you know, you walk right past a person, catch it and die. Because that's what people are really reducing it down to. Make no mistake. That's out of all the pretty jargon they throw at you. People are thinking, We can't see it. We don't know where it is. It's like a thief in the night. It jumps on your back. It strangles your throat, and it takes you out of here. This is, you know what I'm saying? This is how people are looking at it. You know, if you don't have on a hazmat suit, you're dead. Your good is gone. You, your loved ones, everybody you ever thought about, your dreams, your past, all of it is erased. So we're scared. Now, what do you do about that, though? That is what it is. So now we're scared, and they're saying people are dying, and they know. How are we to measure death? It's not something you can take a yardstick out and verify that they're telling you the truth or not. And let's be honest, with so much stuff going on, do you really have time to sit down and try to figure out a plan before you can even execute it? First, you got to get down and figure out a plan of how to measure this death that they are telling you exists, this death toll. You can't. But make no mistakes, considering what's going on at the present moment, they're able to project real numbers. But what if they gave us real numbers of the death toll around the world every day, regardless, aside from this pandemic? It is a reality that people die. It's also a reality that people die of various reasons. Even as I sit here and I record this, I don't know when my last day on earth is. But I know it's going to come someday, and I know it's nothing I can do about it, and I'm not going to fear it. Because there's nothing to fear. It's a transition. We are bothered by it because we're in physical form. And being in physical form, we have certain responses that we are just given in this form that we deal with. In the Bible, it tells you how Jesus came down and wrapped himself in human flesh so that he might experience what we go through on a day-to-day. He went from his form, his energetic form, to a physical form. Now, whether that story is true or not, I'm not going to give my opinion on that, but it was a reference, none the least. It was a reference that correlates with what's going on today. So because we have human emotions, we can't get us aside, or we can't escape grieving those that we love when they pass. So, in as much as I don't fear death, if I would fear anything, it wouldn't be me leaving. It would be how the people that love me and depend on seeing me every day, how it would affect them. Because once I'm gone, I'm on another energy wave now. I'm not to say you don't love your people, whatever, or you'll always be a part of them, but you're in a different form now. You're not dealing with earthly things. You had the experience, you know what it's like, you've been there. So the thing is this, I'm going to tell you something. When you really break it down and think about it, if you had 10 days to live and you didn't even know it, does it really make sense for those 10 days to fear it? Or should you spend time just saying, this is inevitable, I'm going to die someday. Let me be in the now. Let me live my life in the now. When you come here, your job is to contribute to the planet. And now this is something, again, like I said, when I have these talks, it might come off as offensive depending on who's listening. You're going to have some people that be like, yes, that's real. You're going to have some people that are offended. You know, you're going to have some people that are hypersensitive. I get all of that. So, I mean, hey, we're here to think and push our limits on thinking. What was I saying? What footnote did I leave off on?
You were talking about dying in the 10 days.
Right. So you got 10 days.
Yeah.
You gonna shiver and shake every day till you gone for what?